was 15, and it really changed my life.
I had broken with my girlfriend. I had a kind of process of discernment a year before.
I remember coming back from that spiritual exercises. I was about 16 years old. I was set on fire.
And the priest of Miles Christi encouraged me through spiritual direction to seek holiness, to work on a day-to-day basis, to grow in my spiritual life and my prayer and my relationship with Christ.
I was young, I am young, and I wanted to work mainly among young adults. I wanted to do with others what they did with me.
And when I met Miles Christi, it was kind of the place for me in the world and in my life.
I saw one of the priests that was walking, and it was a windy day, and then he was praying the rosary that day, and I saw the sash, this one that was waving there, and then for me, if we were having a movie, that would be a small motion part of the movie to see the priest with the sash. That I think that I loved at that moment.
The beauty that I saw at the Mass was something that I said I wanted to say the Mass in the way these priests say their Mass.
They really lived their faith, and that also, moved me to get more involved, let's say.
The sense of joy that I saw in every person and every young man and woman who was involved with the activities of Miles Christi.
They were funny, they were happy people, they were kind, normal, and then in the liturgy they were very serious. When speaking about the Lord, they were serious, and I loved the combinations.
I realized everything else gets multiplied, I would say almost infinitely, by the grace of God.
When you're young, you have big dreams and you want to be a saint. And that was my main dream. I wanted to be a saint, but also I wanted to help others become saints.
Saint Dominic Savio was saint when he was 15 years old, so I wanted to become a saint too right away. Then actually I realized I was really harder than that.
I desired to give something more to Christ, something else, to live a different life, more fulfilling, with greater ideals.
I really could bring a lot of joy to a lot of people in this world if I was able to pass on Christ, to pass on the Church's teaching, and to lead people towards the Eucharist and towards our Blessed Mother.
I want to help others. I want to help in particular the youth to be able to have that personal encounter with God and to really own their faith.
My dream was, yes, to change the world, and through Miles Christi, I understood that even if you cannot change the world, you can change your world.
Miles Christi made of me a priest, Miles Christi made of me a religious, Miles Christi made of me an apostle.
The answer to all those many questions that I had before meeting the Lord in a very personal way.
I was able also to experience the other aspect of the spirituality, the community life, the liturgy, and that nice balance between contemplation and prayer, as Ignatius asked, and the apostolic life.
I learned how to defend my faith, how to love my faith.
And so that gave me the possibility and the desire not only to work for my salvation, my sanctification, but then little by little to work for the sanctification of other people.
I think that many people were able to grow in their love for God through the ministry of the priests and brothers of Miles Christi.
I am a witness of God's work in souls.
Of the silent yet powerful way in which God works in prayer, how He works in the Eucharist, in adoration.
Through spiritual direction and through the spiritual exercises, you find the way. Say, well, this is the way to follow the Lord. And then I could see that very clear in the life of many youth.
We have done great things here in the United States. We have preached spiritual exercises basically throughout the United States, and now with great effort to reach out to people through internet, through Skype, through YouTube, through many other media.
Probably the people that we impact through Miles Christi here in the U.S. will hopefully impact others throughout the country here, throughout the U.S., but also throughout the world for God's glory and for the benefit of those people.
Jesus in the Gospel says that those who give everything for Him and for the Gospel will receive 100-fold. And of course, that does not mean something material, but above all, something from the spiritual and supernatural kingdom.
My vocation is a gift, it's a grace, it's something given to me by God.
The gift of an interior peace, a deep interior peace, a deep interior joy of knowing that you are doing what you are supposed to do.
I see the Lord working through me, and this is a reward that we all priests have.
The community life and all the good relationship with people that are linked to Miles Christi that helped me to see the importance of the mission of the church and what Miles Christi has to offer to the world.
And I'm very grateful for those friends that I made that are somehow like a part of our big family.
I got a lot of brothers, sisters, friends, mothers here in other country. You know, kind of God will never allow to be outdone in generosity.
And I feel also a great responsibility, you know, because I see God entrusting me so many souls.
You know, if I was married, I would have some kids probably, but now I get all these many kids, I get to play with them, and then the parents can change their diapers. So it's all fun and little work.
It's truly an unimaginable path and call that God has granted me and other brother priests here in the United States and Miles Christi.
It implies some challenges, but at the same time it has a lot of rewards, and it is for me a great honor because my superiors put a lot of trust in my mission here.
It's interesting, right? Because when my parents sent me to study English when I was in middle school, they sent me to an academy, and the name of the academy was Michigan.
Some people say, Father, when you preach, we are very attentive because otherwise we cannot understand you. That is a blessing for you. You practice virtues, and I try to get better with my English.
I never imagined that I was going to be sitting here in the Family Center in South Lyon, Michigan, speaking in English, but that was the plan that God had from all eternity.
I love Miles Christi because it's a very peaceful place to come to pray.
So I've known Miles Christi my whole life, and they've always been there to help me, to kind of help raise me, I guess you could say.
I think like the Miles Christi priests here are a really good example of true soldiers for Christ who help all of us.
Being here has really driven home the truth about the fact that I can't really depend on myself to get myself to heaven. It's really through Christ, you know, through the church, through the sacraments that this is all achieved. In Miles Christi, my experience here has really driven that home.
Prayer conferences, retreats, spiritual formation, men's groups, family groups, you know, it goes on and on. They really just are great examples for young men in the area as well.
I wish for there to be more people that come here, for Miles Christi to really grow as an institution, to be spreading more blessings and more positive influence to other young people.
I wish for Miles Christi to have as great a next 25 years as its first 25 years were.